I'm kind of a fighter. I've always been those stages of emotions, right? Where you're excited, you're happy, and then you crash. But I never, ever, ever give up, no matter what. And things have been, let's be honest, things have been worse than this before. You'd think that I'd be devastated, freaking out, crying maybe even, I don't know, over the fact that my life hangs in the balance based on a YouTube appeal bot system. And I am a little scared, but you know, something that keeps me calm is staring at my daughter on the couch. She's laying down, and maybe someday I'll hear this, and that's part of why I'm describing this. She's laying down in a little blue sweatshirt, and she's just asleep, and she loves to hang out with me. She wouldn't go to bed tonight, and she's just the sweetest thing in the world to me. I am so lucky. It wasn't but a few years ago that I was negative in the bank every week, and that I didn't know exactly what I was doing here on YouTube. I mean, you could say that I'm unlucky losing a job that was really good out of nowhere, seemingly. But I'm not, because I'm lucky enough to be here talking to you guys alive, as we all are. There's people in Houston right now not doing so well. In comparison, this is a minor blip on a radar for somebody. It seems like a bigger deal to me because YouTube is my life, my job. I'm my own boss, producer, talent, devoted to hopefully entertaining people listening, as I've been entertained my entire life and still am on YouTube now by other content creators that I rely on to entertain me throughout my day. And I hope to entertain you guys. And, you know, whether this means that, you know, I start doing a show like this or more shows like this, Shame on News, and whatnot, you know, I don't know. I will do whatever it takes. I want you guys to make sure you remember that I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/Rage Internet Radio, that I'm on JoeCronenShow.com, that my Twitter is @RealJoeCronen, that my Patreon is where you can support me monthly, patreon.com/JoeCronenShow. Obviously now more than ever, it means a ton. The live donators, hopefully when I go live, will still show up. But I'm also disappointed in the fact that YouTube is the best place to go to get new listeners. Every day, new listeners. Tons of subs all the time. You can't get that on Twitch. You can't get that on Patreon. You can't get that anywhere else. Facebook. Because those people are only people watching you that already watch you, which is great. And we will be able to survive for 3 months with this core audience that cares. But let's face it, many people, you know, we're all a little bit lazy. Some people forget about my show a lot of times, and they get the alert, and they come in, and that draws numbers. But if I'm going to go live on a different area, different platform, it may be only 300 to 500 of you that follow me over there, as opposed to the normal 1,400, 1,500 viewers that I might get. Monetize this, we might get 100 to 200 to 300 people, as opposed to the 600 to 800 or more. And, you know, that's going to affect things a little bit. But we'll get through it if the appeal doesn't go through. I think Justin Bailey's hitting me up now. That's the beeping you just heard. Let me just mute that. Because he's probably going to text. Any minute he's going to text me his poop is what's going to happen. But we have 178 backers on Patreon, which is great. I would love it. In a perfect world, Patreon would hit the number of, you know, monthly income where I was able to say, well, even if YouTube Live goes down, Patreon has it covered. Now, we're not there yet on Patreon. We're getting there, though. We're getting towards that. We're 1/3 of the way there. You know, and it's also a thing where you want to buffer and pad yourself to make sure you have enough. I'm going to do more shows now because of this. So, thanks, YouTube. I'm going to try to do way more Shame on News. And I don't know exactly what that means. I think what I'm going to do is do a Shame on News show on Shame on News. And I'm going to put out bonus content for people on the Patreon of Shame on News. I believe. And I'll probably make it accessible to both patron accounts, no matter which one you are. Probably stream more on Twitch. And probably plug the patron a lot more. And I don't know what else. Probably do more shows like this. Well, it wasn't even Bailey. It was just Facebook telling me about an alert. That's depressing. I thought it was going to be Bailey. I was excited. I was like, oh, yes. I won't talk about Game of Thrones. I will not talk about Game of Thrones because I know that some of you haven't seen it. So I will save that for a separate video or podcast or whatever where, it's, it will say spoilers and don't listen to this. I'm sure Leah would want to be there for it, though. The last episode just now was great, though. It wasn't just now, but the other day. The Conor McGregor fight, I actually, it was pretty good. It was more entertaining than some of the other stuff. It's funny now that it's over. I feel that boxing's over for me. I don't believe I'll ever turn boxing on again. That's a little bit of a sad thing. I know there's tons of people out there that love it still, and it's going to be popular. It's just like baseball right now. If you're a very big fan of boxing, you're going to watch boxing still, and boxing's great as always. But if you're somebody who's not quite as much of a boxing fan, you're probably going to tune out. It's very similar to baseball versus football. And that's all it is. It's Star Trek versus Star Wars. Right now, boxing is Star Trek, and UFC is Star Wars. As far as I'm concerned. Maybe you see it differently, actually. I don't know. To me, though, it feels that way. Where, I don't know. I don't know how many events boxing puts on as opposed to UFC. Because the difference with Star Trek and Star Wars is, Star Wars, there's only 8 movies. Or soon to be 9 movies, or 10 movies if you count the other one. And maybe a few others. And with Star Trek, there's the same amount of movies, but Star Trek is more about the TV series. Star Trek is all TV series stuff. They make a TV series, and then Star Trek makes a movie based on that TV series. And the Star Trek movies aren't very good, really. Well, they're good, but they're just not close to the level of Star Wars. But I would argue that I believe I like Star Trek TV series better than Star Wars. But I love both, because I'm a dork. And that's what dorks do. And you guys can tell me if you like this format, this podcast. This just sort of like vlog or audio og. What do you call it? Og? I don't goddamn know. Tons of pictures, though, of Conor, getting punched. Mayweather punching. They're punching. Showtime socked with mega fight lawsuit. Many fans shelled out $99 to watch Mayweather versus McGregor, but were left frustrated as the action started. They say it's a limited number of complaints, though. We heard outages and stuff like that. We heard all this talk about outages and things like that. Why is it that 110 million can watch the Super Bowl every year with no problem, but when Floyd fights, pay-per-view providers go poof? Says Mike Chiapetta, MMA. I might have butchered his last name, and probably someone out there is going, "You don't know who that is, Joe, you dick." Then you might be right. Joel Osteen responds to accusations of closing church doors to Harvey evacuees. Now, Joel Osteen is saying that there's water or he's flooded. I don't know how his spot could be flooded, but what are we going to do? We call him a liar? I mean, it seems like it's a witch hunt for him right now. And listen, I think it seems like he's full of shit. He says, "We have never closed our doors," senior pastor Joel Osteen said in a statement quoted by ABC and Atlanta Journal-Constitution. "We will continue to be a distribution center to those in need. We are prepared to house people once shelters." I just clicked off of it by accident. So wait a minute. So they are. Lakewood Church is inaccessible due to severe flooding. The post then went on to... I'm trying to read the whole post, and... Houston blogger tweeted photos of the church's flooded interior and wrote, "Seriously, quite sickening when people spread negative news without knowing the situation." Wow. 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 So, guys, I'm shocked because, you know, they said it wasn't flooded. Or people were saying it wasn't flooded. And I said, hey, nobody knows whether it's flooded or it isn't flooded. But apparently, I'm looking at pictures now of them showing this place flooded. And it is scary, if that's the place. That is water damage that is incredibly horrible. And obviously there's people out there like suffering in water damage. But yeah, if people are just out to burn this guy, I mean, that is terrible. That was my concern from the beginning. In fact, I felt I took the bait because I was crapping on him earlier. And I don't know yet. We're going to have to wait till more information comes out. But let's all think about it like this, right? Sure, this guy's rich, right? He's rich. He's a pastor. He's just got this amazing land, this compound that's insane. And we all think that he needs to help out, right? But what if, you know what I mean? What if he's telling the truth? What if he really is flooded? But also, he is not expected to open his doors. That is his choice. It really is his choice. And unfortunately to me, we can't just say you must open your whole place to everybody, damn you. It has to be his decision. Otherwise, it's a crime, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if it was like, it's life or death. I suppose you could... I don't know. I just felt it was unnecessary. I was afraid of commenting on it and burying this guy, even if he is a scumbag. I'm afraid of burying somebody without all the facts, and I started to do it, and now I'm sort of regretting it, looking at these photos of the church covered in water. Because the upper level is covered in water, it looks like. Because the church, it sits on top, but then it folds in like a bowl. So the bowl part is on a lower level, but the upper parts are above maybe the sea. But the upper parts are flooded. So people are on the bottom, there could be water rushing down, breaking the walls, coming down on them. You couldn't go in there based on the photos I'm looking at right now. I'm telling you, I was ready to bury this guy. I feel horrible if this, I don't know. I still don't want to comment because I don't know yet. But what I'm looking at in these photos is, fucking, this place is jacked up. And people were burying this guy. Like everybody was, even Alex Jones. He questioned it a little bit, but they even buried him. You think they'd be like, oh yeah, he can do no wrong. He's a rich white conservative. But I don't know. So Joel Olsteen, apparently, it's not nobody can go in there. Someone wrote, "Isn't it flooded? Fake photos of the church. It's dry as a desert in there. I know. I saw it," says Richard. Just somebody on Yahoo. Like what? Now, I don't know what to think. It's flooded according to photos and their representative. Did the writer not check that first? When people were talking about the comments on the site. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about this. It's so weird. We're going to have to wait till more facts come out. I don't want to comment on it. If the thing is not flooded and this guy didn't offer it up, or maybe he didn't think about offering it up, shame on him, dude. You're supposed to be like, what would Jesus do? And godly. Like, I'm not a religious person. And if I was him with all the millions of dollars, I might even hire teams to come in and hand out food and water and hold prayers or something for a couple days. And then, I don't know, something. And, I don't know. But if it's flooded for real, then it's flooded for real, and what are you going to do? And so I don't want to comment any further on it. I wish I had more concrete information about this shit. but I just feel like it's dangerous to just go, oh, pick at the rich guy, And the reason why I think about it like this, because I think about it things like, and I know that I'm not rich and we're not rich and you're not rich and, it's easy to go after these rich people. But I always think about it like, what if I get rich someday? Which it's not going to happen probably, right? But you always got to think, you got to protect them just as much as you protect yourself, because if you're ever in the position, everybody's rich to somebody, right? Everybody's rich to somebody. I have a roof over my head. There might be some guy on the street homeless wants to break in and steal a couple bucks, And the minute that you like say, you need to give up this for me, or because I said so, that's not good. That's not right. If they want to give it up, cool. Now, if this guy turns out to be a douchebag, we'll burn him, we'll bury him. But right now, it's just, I'm not going to comment anymore because I don't know. I don't know if he's a douche. I don't know if it's flooded. They're saying it is. There's photos that they're tweeting out to everybody. Yeah, here's another article. Man proposes to woman 10 years after she interrupted his suicide. Jesus. That's bizarre. What's the girl look like? Why'd he try to kill himself? Why? Well, she was good looking. Well, she's still good looking. What's funny is they both aged well. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. I've noticed recently that, like, people, like, when they take photos as, like, a 17 or 24, like, 16 to 21-year-olds take photos, and then, like, you see their wedding photos from when they're, like, 27 or 35 or something, and I'm like, damn, they aged really nicely. They look better now than they did then. Is that true? Or am I aging, and is my brain telling me that that's the more right thing to be attracted to, right? Because you see older people and stuff, and you're like, how could they like each other? How could they be kissing? Gross. But, like, they're fine with it. And, like, I'm in love, when you're in love with somebody, you can be like, they could have, like, faults and stuff like that, but you just don't care. You just, like, love them. It doesn't matter. But you see someone else, maybe someone else is even uglier, like, you, like, technically is uglier than your wife, but you would never think that. And you think, ooh, that girl's, like, that girl's got that gross thing, and she's fat there, and stuff like that, and you're like, ugh, I wouldn't date her. But then your wife technically might be more out of shape, right? But you look at her, and you're, like, way more attracted to her, and you love her. It's so weird, man. That's what it's like, though. So am I getting older and thinking like, oh, older people that look like me are way better looking because I'm older and I'm like their age in this photo, and they look like a nice, happy married couple on their wedding day. And then the other one is like the dude's wearing a shitty T-shirt and she looks like a tomboy kind of. I mean, I don't know. It's just like it's a cute picture and they're both good looking both times, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's that. I think it's how you grow up. It's always like within 5 to 8 years or within 5 years of your own age is what appeals to you. Maybe. If your brain is wired the right way or the what I would say the common way, right? Because your brain might be wired all fucked up. You might think like, oh, there's a guy in jail right now thinking a 13-year-old looks good, and that guy's probably in jail. I hope he's in jail. But, and then there's other people that think 50-year-old guys. There's 20-year-old girls who are like, ooh, 50-year-old guy, I want that sack. I want that shriveled up sack. Here's a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's funny. And these, whenever you see, if you look at Yahoo News and you scroll down Yahoo News, anything that says sponsored, like, just don't. Like, don't even bother. If it says sponsored, don't do it. Joel Osteen's Houston megachurch blasted for closing as thousands are displaced. I don't know. The photos look really convincing. We'll see. That's a huge-ass church, man. That is amazing. Imagine if you had a fucking church like that. Why would you have this? God damn, I want to be a preacher. Because it's kind of what I'm doing right now, right? Like, I'm sitting here, like, I'm talking about stuff, giving you my opinions, positive, negative, everything. Of course, the whole thing is positive, overcoming and happy and stuff. I don't know. I think I think I could completely manipulate the old people and be like, oh, once I was a kid, I was in the woods and I stepped on a stick and I heard the name of God and I don't know. God. I don't know what they do. I don't know. Anyway, this whole podcast happened because it's 5 a.m. and I can't sleep because of my YouTube channel issue and I'm terrified. So hopefully we'll do more of these, and I'll put them up on Shame on News. I'll put them up on Corrupted Podcast YouTube channel. Remember, I have a bunch of YouTube channels. Remember, you can email me at joecroningshow@yahoo.com. You can listen to Corrupted Podcast on iTunes. You can listen to full episodes by going to corruptedpodcast.com and paying for them, and that gives us money. Or you can go to patreon.com/joecroningshow, become a patron, and listen to them there, and listen to them live, and listen to them in full. And you can really help support us and keep our channel going. I haven't talked to Ken and Justin Bailey about this yet, but Jake DeMarco, everybody's asleep, so I'm all by myself, just kind of tweaking out right now, I suppose it would be. But I promise to keep this sort of podcast going, and maybe even doing longer ones. If not, or unless I continue to do this right now, I might even babble on another hour. You never know with me. You know, I see something I can talk about. But yeah, those and we'll go live. You know, we'll go live from somewhere. You know, we can go live from one of my other YouTube channels. So we'll alert you to tell you what the deal is there. Maybe I'll make a new wrestling channel and call it like Wrestling Shit. YouTube.com/wrestling shit. That'd be a good website. Or I'll come up with something else like Steel Post Stallion or something. What the hell am I talking about? It is 5 in the morning. Wow. Holy crap. Well, the world business says Japan may have no choice but to shoot down the next North Korean missile test. Why didn't they shoot down this one? You know? That's what I was thinking. Like, they were like, oh, the thing just went right over them. Like, what? Tell you what, you know, and why do we have to always, everybody's like, oh, what's America going to do? It's like, what? Why are we the ones? You know, and we are the ones, but why? We shouldn't. Don't do anything. First of all, if North Korea is firing missiles around those guys, that's up to Japan and South Korea and China to deal with. Let them deal with it first. Like make sure they're going to deal with it first. Like, do we really have to come in and do this for everybody else? No. I would stand back and say, we expect that China will step in here, or that Japan, will take care of it. But we're watching, and we're here to back up Japan if shit gets crazy. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what I would say, probably. So many people, so much hypocrisy in politics. It's so ridiculous. When you hold your own pride in politics over everything else, like, you know what I mean? Like, people, Ted Cruz, opposing Hurricane Sandy relief, but now he's asking for help. It's like, come on, man. Could this be any more of the scumbag in those movies? Like, you remember the senator guy or whatever in X-Men? Where he's like, oh, fuck mutants. I hope they all die. I want to kill mutants. Kill fucking mutants. Kill people that are different. But then, like, he becomes a mutant and he's like, oh, God, I didn't mean it. It's like, see? You stupid idiot. Help everybody, you fucks. I don't know. I don't get it. We all need to help each other, man. We need to rid the world. And you got to do it right. You know what I mean? Like, this is what, like I'm in the middle. I'm an independent person, right? I'm an independent. But, like, sometimes I get in fights with Leah, and she calls me Republican and Trump supporter, and it's like, I'm not. I'm literally just trying to stick up for what's right. If there's something that Trump does that sucks, I call him out on it, and I'm mad about it. I didn't vote for anybody because I just couldn't do it. But, like, I see so many fake stories about him that it's like I don't believe the stories until I read up on them. Because so many things are fake. And that's why the media sucks, because when he does something, there's so many fake stories about Trump that now all the people that support him can grab onto those and be like, look, everything's fake, you idiots. And now you're, like, discrediting yourselves. So, but then there's people on the left that are like, oh, he's evil and all these things are real and everything is 100%. And it's not true. I mean, I've proven these things wrong. I've read the things that are wrong. Like, I mean, just one example is the biggest example is the one where they said, oh, he threw his hat to a kid. But he threw it, some kid gave him a hat to sign, and he just threw it into the crowd away from the kid. And they showed this one angle, and they, like, crapped on him for, like, they, like, did shows on this. But, he denied it, and then they laughed about that, like, oh, he can't do anything right, huh? But then, like, you see the camera angle, and it's like, no, he threw it right back to the kid, and the kid caught it and ran away with it. But it's like but that's like that's like a joke. That's just a harmless little stupid thing. But they do that with real stuff too. But he's also terrible. And I mean, like, this guy, the judge in the sheriff or whatever that he pardoned, it's like the left side has good points because, like, the guy got an unfair trial. But the guy also, like, did illegal crap over there. And while he was attacked, and there was an attack on him by the Obama administration, like, that's clear, and he did get an unfair trial. Those two things are reality. The other things that are reality, though, is that he illegally detained people. And then when he was told to not do it by a judge, he did it anyway. He sort of profiled people when he shouldn't. Stop and frisk, if you know what that is. Imagine if in Massachusetts, where I live, they just decided, well, we're going to have stop and frisk on black people. So only black people will be stopped. And we'll frisk them, and if they have nothing, they're okay. But if they have a gun, obviously they're going to be arrested and stuff. But we won't do it to white people. Like, that would be fucking insane. And by the way, that wouldn't happen here because in Massachusetts, we're, like, insane liberal, right? Like, I'm in the middle. I'm not a liberal. I'm an independent, free thinker. Think for yourself, people. Everybody out there right now. You're probably listening. You're probably somebody that's either like, fuck Trump, or you're probably thinking, like, I love Trump. God damn it. Trump is the man. Fuck these people. You need to become a little more centered because this is dangerous. Being all one way will become dangerous. You can like him a little bit, or you can hate him a little bit, but you gotta keep that open mind. You gotta realize that there's so much misinformation, and it's on both sides. It's on both sides. There is bullshit overflooding to both sides like you wouldn't believe. And each side is clinging to the bullshit that supports their shit the most, which is creating... This is why we get nothing done. You know what I mean? This is why we get nothing done. That's why I decided to become independent and just stay in the middle and use my mind. And the problem is when sometimes Trump does something terrible and I freak out about it, well, then all the people that like Trump get on me and call me some liberal SJW piece of shit. And it's like, well, what are you talking about? So you can never criticize him? And then they bring up all the stuff Obama did, and I'm like, okay, well, I didn't like when Obama did that either. I complained then too. But now I'm complaining about Trump because two wrongs make a wrong. You fuck. But and then like Leah even, like if I say, well, I'm not happy that they lied about Trump. They lied. They made this fake news about Trump, and this isn't right. They're attacking him for the wrong thing. He didn't do this. Then Leah's like, oh, you're a go be a Nazi. Like, well, what? I'm a Nazi? I didn't even vote for the guy. So that's the problem. Both sides just attacking you. And I feel attacked and bullied and scared, to be honest. I feel afraid. I feel it would almost be safer to pick one side because then I'd have somebody on my side. So for anybody that like is on the left and feels bullied, or on the right and feels bullied, I mean, try being in the middle. I'm like a fucking bisexual guy. I want to have sex with everything, Imagine being bisexual. George Carlin made a joke about that. That would be amazing. He goes, or what? I think he said it would be terrible. I think he was like, wouldn't it be a terrible thing? What? It would be awful. Imagine wanting to fuck everyone you meet. I guess that would be considered if the guy was a raging whore. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want to fuck a hippo. Piper, that chick in the Mae Young Classic, I don't want to bang her. Jesus, she looks like she ate fucking Adele. Anyway, guys, I gotta get out of here. This was my rant of shit because of the YouTube situation. I can't sleep. I still can't sleep. I might make another one of these. If you can tell, I've had like 7 cups of coffee. My heart rate is up. But I'm gonna calm down. Started all peaceful with my daughters over there, and she's so beautiful, and thank God for her and my son, my 2 sons, and Leah, and the dog, and everybody else in my life, and my mother, and all of these listeners that we have here, and Justin Bailey's penis. But now I've gone hyperactive mode, which is, I think, understandable. I think it's live stream is enabled on Corrupted Podcast. So I don't know if you guys are aware. Oh, this is a great story now. I gotta tell this. Oh, I'm such a tool. I am such a fucking tool. So So I clicked, so I forgot that I signed into my Corrupted Podcast YouTube channel, and I hit the channel status, and it said everything was enabled, and I went, oh, they fixed it! They fixed it already! Oh my god! And then I looked up and saw that I was logged into Corrupted, and I went, oh. I fucking got excited for nothing. Unbelievable. Well, everybody listening who's on Shame on News, who's on Joe Cronin Show, who's on Corrupted, who's on maybe iTunes, wherever you're listening to this, thank you so much for listening and for supporting me. And I hope you find me on all the platforms I'm at. And I hope you follow me on Twitter, but that's not reliable either because we know my Twitters have been suspended too. It all else fails, joecroninshow.com. I'll have all the links to everything there. And I'm working on it tonight to try to make it clean and easy for you to use on mobile. Thank you guys so much. I'll be back with more of these, I'm sure. And leave me some feedback on this in the comments below. And hopefully I can do my SmackDown review live on this channel, but if not, I'll do it somewhere else. If you love Corrupted, tell me. If you love Final Frontier News, tell me. If you love these personal vlogs / news updates, tell me. Just tell me what you like and what you want to hear. And if you're a patron, thank you extra much. If you're a patron or somebody who donates live, either one, but especially people that donate live and patrons, thank you very much for keeping me here and keeping me doing this. And I hope that you keep coming back for more. You don't give anything that's out of your means, of course. Don't do that. But thank you very, very, very much. And to patrons, thank you for the help so much too. I think you're about to be charged actually for this month, so hopefully you stay around or you up it or something. I don't know if you want to, but don't do anything that's going to hurt you. We all have families. My name is Joe Cronin, and I'm done. More to come later. I'll see you tomorrow.